What if I told you that the way you sleep tonight could silently sculpt your vulnerability to a stroke tomorrow? Every year, in the United States alone, nearly 800,000 people suffer a stroke. And for older adults, our sleep habits are one of the most powerful, yet overlooked, triggers. Consider this. We spend nearly a third of our lives in slumber, a state of supposed rest and recovery. Yet most of us rarely question if the very way we rest might be harming our heart and brain. I once knew a woman named Evelyn, a 72-year-old grandmother who believed her long afternoon naps were a harmless indulgence. She would drift off after lunch, sometimes for more than an hour. But one morning, she awoke to a world tilted on its side, dizzy and weak. At the hospital, doctors confirmed she'd had a minor stroke. What felt like a simple, comforting routine had been quietly elevating her risk for years. Stories like hers are far more common than you can imagine, and that is precisely why this conversation matters. Today, we will uncover the sleep habits that feel perfectly normal, but could be silently pushing your blood vessels and your brain into a dangerous territory. Before we begin, let me ask you, do you ever feel your sleep patterns aren't as healthy as they should be? Comment 1 if you've ever worried about your sleep, or 0 if you've never given it much thought. We read and respond to every single comment, so please don't be shy. And while you're here, be sure to subscribe to Health 365 so you never miss the practical wisdom that could protect your health and add vibrant years to your life. When it comes to sleep, many older adults believe that as long as they close their eyes, the details are unimportant. Science, however, tells a very different story. Both sleeping too little and sleeping too much can quietly disrupt the vital circulation in your brain. According to the American Heart Association, individuals over 60 who sleep fewer than 6 hours or more than 9 hours a night face up to a 30% higher risk of stroke compared to those who get a consistent 7 to 8. Why is this? Short sleep plunges your body into a state of constant stress, raising blood pressure and making your blood more prone to clotting. Oversleeping, on the other hand, often signals poor sleep quality, perhaps due to hidden conditions like sleep apnea or heart disease, which weaken blood vessels over time. Let me share the story of Harold, a 68-year-old retired mail carrier. He prided himself on his toughness, often getting by on just 5 hours of sleep so he could catch up on reading or late-night television. Over the years, his blood pressure crept higher, until one morning he fainted in his kitchen. Tests revealed a small blood clot in his brain. His doctors explained that years of chronic sleep deprivation had silently strained his entire circulatory system. Harold made a change. He set a consistent bedtime, aiming for 7 hours, and within months both his energy and his blood pressure had remarkably improved. So what can you do? Aim for the sweet spot. 7 to 8 hours of restful sleep each night. Set a regular bedtime, dim the lights, and allow your brain to recharge without rush or overindulgence. Think of sleep not as wasted time, but as the most natural medicine for your heart and brain. And here's a surprising turn. While we often focus on the dangers of sleep deprivation, sleeping too much can be just as risky. In fact, our next habit is perhaps even more insidious because it hides behind sleepless nights and restless minds. Many of us shrug off a few nights of poor sleep, but when insomnia becomes a long-term companion, the body pays a heavy price. Chronic sleeplessness raises cortisol, the stress hormone, which drives up blood pressure and damages blood vessels. The CDC reports that adults sleeping under 6 hours are far more likely to develop hypertension, diabetes, and ultimately stroke. For seniors, this risk is magnified, as their blood vessels are already less flexible. Staying up late only compounds the problem, disrupting our natural circadian rhythm and leaving the heart and brain under constant strain. Take Margaret, a 70-year-old retired teacher. She would often stay awake past midnight, scrolling on her tablet or worrying about her grandchildren. At first, it just felt like harmless late nights. But over the years, her blood pressure climbed, and she began to suffer from frequent headaches. One night, she awoke with a chilling numbness in her left arm. Fortunately, it was a transient ischemic attack, a mini-stroke, a final warning shot from her body. Her doctors explained that years of late nights and broken sleep had weakened her cardiovascular system. Working with a specialist, Margaret gradually shifted her bedtime earlier, practiced relaxation breathing, and cut out afternoon caffeine. Within months, her blood pressure stabilized and her vitality returned. The solution lies in routine. Set a consistent bedtime, create a calming pre-sleep ritual, and avoid screens for at least an hour before bed. If sleep troubles persist, please seek help. Untreated insomnia isn't merely an inconvenience. It is a direct threat to your heart and brain. But sometimes, the danger isn't about how long you sleep, but what happens while you sleep. This next habit may come as a shock. Snoring might seem harmless, a simple annoyance to a sleeping partner. But when it becomes loud and frequent, it can be a sign of something far more dangerous: obstructive sleep apnea. This condition causes repeated pauses in breathing throughout the night, each one lasting 10 seconds or more. Every pause robs the brain of oxygen and forces the heart to work harder. Over time, these nightly oxygen drops raise blood pressure, strain blood vessels, and dramatically increase the risk of stroke. In fact, research from the National Institutes of Health reveals that untreated sleep apnea can double the likelihood of cardiovascular events in older adults. Many seniors dismiss their snoring as a normal part of aging, but it is a red flag. The body briefly wakes up after each pause in breathing, even if you don't remember it, leaving you exhausted during the day and putting immense silent pressure on your heart at night. This vicious cycle can continue for years, slowly eroding the circulatory system until a sudden event, like a stroke, occurs. The good news is that sleep apnea is treatable. A sleep study can confirm the diagnosis, and solutions range from a CPAP machine to weight loss or changing sleep positions. Even simple steps, like avoiding alcohol before bed, can help. The key is to not ignore persistent, loud snoring, especially if it's accompanied by choking, gasping, or profound daytime fatigue. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you believe snoring should always be taken seriously? Comment 1 if you see it as a health warning, or 0 if you've never thought of it that way. And as you share your thoughts, remember to subscribe to Health 365, because our next habit might surprise you even more. Our bodies thrive on rhythm. Just as the sun rises and sets, our internal clock, our circadian rhythm, guides when we feel alert and when we feel sleepy. But when sleep schedules become erratic, late one night, early the next, the body struggles to find its balance. For seniors, this disruption is more than just feeling groggy. It places real, tangible stress on the cardiovascular system. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that older adults with irregular sleep patterns are nearly twice as likely to develop heart disease and stroke. This is because the brain and heart depend on consistency. Erratic sleep forces the body's hormones and blood pressure to swing unpredictably, creating constant strain on blood vessels. Consider George, a 73-year-old retired accountant. After retiring, he let his schedule drift, sometimes staying up past 2 a.m. watching movies, other times falling asleep early. He laughed it off as the freedom of retirement. But soon, he began experiencing heart palpitations and dizziness. A checkup revealed high blood pressure and signs of atrial fibrillation, both linked to his inconsistent sleep. With his doctor's guidance, George established a regular bedtime and wake-up routine. Within months, his heart rhythm stabilized, and his mornings felt clear and calm. For older adults, the solution is discipline. Choose a bedtime and stick to it, even on weekends. Expose yourself to morning sunlight to reset your internal clock, and avoid long naps late in the day. Think of your sleep schedule like medicine. Taken at the same time daily, it keeps your heart and brain steady. The truth is, even small habits can have a ripple effect. And sometimes what seems like an innocent solution, like a sleeping pill, can quietly make things worse. For many, the temptation of a sleeping pill feels like the quickest escape from a restless night. But these medications, both over-the-counter and prescription, come with hidden dangers. Studies from the American Geriatrics Society warn that frequent use can increase the risk of falls, confusion, and even stroke, as they can slow breathing and disturb heart rhythm. Consider Linda, a 75-year-old widow who struggled to fall asleep after her husband passed. She started with an occasional over-the-counter sleep aid, but soon came to rely on it nightly. Months later, she found herself waking up groggy, sometimes losing her balance. One morning, chest tightness sent her to the emergency room, where doctors found an irregular heartbeat linked to her prolonged use of the pills. With medical help, Linda tapered off the medication and learned safer strategies: evening walks, herbal tea, and mindfulness. Slowly, her natural sleep returned, and so did her independence. While pills may offer temporary relief, they don't solve the underlying problem. Safer options often work better. A calming bedtime ritual, a dark, cool bedroom, and relaxation techniques are far more powerful in the long run. Restful sleep is not manufactured by a pill. It is built through routine, environment, and care. And as we'll see next, even the room you sleep in can either protect your heart or quietly push it toward danger. Your bedroom should be a sanctuary for recovery, yet many of us unknowingly sleep in conditions that raise our stroke risk. Light and noise are two of the most underestimated culprits. Even small amounts of artificial light, from street lamps, blinking electronics, or a television, can interfere with melatonin, the hormone that signals your brain to rest. Research from Northwestern University found that older adults exposed to light during sleep were more likely to have high blood pressure and impaired blood sugar control, both major risk factors for stroke. Noise is just as harmful. Traffic, a neighbor, or even a snoring partner can keep the brain in a state of low-level alertness, preventing deep, restorative sleep. This constant disruption can push an already sensitive system to its breaking point. The solution is simple. Use blackout curtains or a sleep mask. Keep devices out of the bedroom. For noise, try earplugs or a white noise machine. A dark, quiet, and cool room allows your body to truly recharge. Does your sleep environment affect your well-being? Press 1 for yes or 0 for no. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips to protect your heart and brain. A short nap can feel refreshing, but when daytime sleep stretches too long, it can quietly harm your heart. Research shows that naps over 30 minutes can disrupt your circadian rhythm, leading to poor nighttime sleep, higher blood pressure, and greater stroke risk. Excessive napping may also signal underlying issues like sleep apnea or depression. Robert, a 74-year-old, often dozed for over an hour after lunch. He struggled to sleep at night, and his blood pressure rose. His doctor warned him that his long naps were harming his cardiovascular health. Robert shortened his naps to 20 minutes and became more active. Soon, his nights improved, and his blood pressure settled. The key is moderation. Keep naps short and take them earlier in the day. But sometimes the greatest danger isn't the length or timing of your sleep. It's the very position your body is in. Have you ever woken up with a strange numbness in your arm or a pounding headache? You might have chalked it up to age. But what if it was your sleeping position, quietly putting pressure on your arteries and restricting blood flow to your brain? Most people don't think twice about their sleep posture, yet it can have a profound influence on your circulation. Sleeping with your neck bent sharply forward or your head twisted to the side can compress the carotid arteries, the main highways for blood traveling to your brain. This is especially dangerous for seniors who may already have stiff arteries or plaque buildup. Take Susan, a 74-year-old who loved sleeping in her recliner with her chin tucked toward her chest. She often woke with headaches and numbness, but dismissed it as arthritis. One morning, she awoke with slurred speech and weakness on her right side. She had suffered a mild stroke, worsened by the reduced circulation from her sleep posture. The lesson is that posture is not trivial. Choose a supportive pillow that keeps your head in line with your spine. Avoid positions that kink your neck. These small adjustments protect your circulation and give your brain the steady, uninterrupted blood flow it needs all night long. Today, we've explored how simple, everyday habits can profoundly shape the health of your brain and heart. The encouraging part is that you can begin to make a change tonight. It doesn't require complicated routines, just steady habits. A regular bedtime, a quiet, dark room, shorter naps, and a supportive pillow. Remember, sleep is not wasted time. It is healing time. When you care for your rest, you give your brain the precious oxygen and circulation it needs to stay strong, vibrant, and resilient for all the years to come. A high pillow can be especially problematic, as it can compress the vertebral arteries that run through your spine and feed your brainstem. Imagine this. Your head is tilted forward for 7 or 8 hours straight, just as if you'd been staring down at your phone all night. That's precisely what sleeping with a high pillow does to your neck. The result? You might wake up feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or as if your brain is wrapped in fog. One of my patients, a 72-year-old woman who cherished her thick memory foam pillow, kept waking up with spinning sensations. She was convinced it was vertigo, but when we adjusted her pillow to a lower, more neutral height, just enough to keep her head aligned with her spine, those dizzy mornings almost vanished. The risk is even greater if you have any narrowing in your neck arteries or cervical spine issues, which become more common with age. That extra tilt from a high pillow puts significant stress on already sensitive structures. It's like kinking a garden hose. Water still flows, but barely. So, what can you do? Aim for a pillow that supports your neck's natural curve without pushing your chin toward your chest. A good rule of thumb is to lie on your back and check if your nose is in line with your sternum. If your chin is dropping too low, your pillow is probably too high. Now, let's move from pillow height to a sleeping position that many people don't realize could be limiting the oxygen reaching their brain. You're curled up in a tight little ball, knees tucked to your chest, head bent forward. It feels safe, perhaps even comforting. This is the fetal position. And while it might remind you of being snug in the womb, it can actually restrict how well your body, and especially your brain, receives blood and oxygen during sleep. When you fold yourself up like that, you are squeezing your chest cavity, reducing the space your lungs have to expand. This means less oxygen getting into your bloodstream and ultimately less reaching your brain. If your pillow is also too high, you're bending your neck forward even more, delivering a double hit to your circulation. A woman I worked with, who was 69 years old, always slept tightly curled on her side. Every morning she'd wake up with numb fingers and dizzy spells. We tried everything, diet, hydration, but nothing worked until she changed her sleep position. She started sleeping with a flatter pillow and placed a small cushion between her knees to help her stay slightly straighter. Within a week, the numbness stopped. Sleeping curled up can also constrict your nerves, leading to that pins and needles sensation in your hands or feet. If you've ever woken up feeling like your arm doesn't belong to you, this could be why. To help, try lying on your side with a gentle bend in your knees instead of curling into a tight ball. Support your back with a pillow and keep your head aligned with your spine. It doesn't have to feel like military posture, just open enough so your lungs and blood vessels can do their jobs. Next, let's talk about a surprising mistake many people make even when they sleep on their back, and how it can silently trigger headaches and sleep disruptions. Sleeping on your back is often praised as the healthiest position, and in many ways, it is. But there's a significant catch. If your neck isn't properly supported, this good position can quickly turn into a bad one. When your pillow fails to cradle the natural curve of your neck, your head may tilt backward or slide sideways. This puts subtle but continuous stress on the blood vessels at the base of your skull. These tiny vessels are incredibly important. They help regulate blood flow to the parts of your brain that manage balance, sleep, and coordination. If they're strained or compressed during the night, it can lead to headaches, dizziness, or even sleep disturbances. I've had patients who thought they had insomnia. It turned out to be poor neck support causing micro-awakenings all night long. One man, in his early 70s, had a habit of sleeping on his back without any real neck support. His pillow was flat, and his head drooped backward. He'd wake up exhausted, with a tight feeling at the base of his skull. We switched his pillow to one designed for cervical support, just enough to keep his head and neck aligned. Within days, his headaches began to ease, and his sleep improved dramatically. If you're a back sleeper, take a moment to feel how your head rests on your pillow. Look for a contoured pillow that fits the curve of your neck, keeping your head in line with your spine. This simple shift can make all the difference, especially if you've had issues with blood flow or minor strokes in the past. Now, let's explore a position that's especially risky, not just for your brain, but for your heart and lungs too. It's a sleeping position many people turn to for comfort, especially when dealing with back pain. But it's actually one of the worst for your brain. Sleeping on your stomach. It might feel like you're relieving pressure on your back, but the cost is high. When you sleep on your stomach, your head has to twist to one side, and it stays that way for hours. This constant twisting can compress the carotid artery, the main blood vessel carrying oxygen-rich blood to your brain. I had a patient in his mid-60s who always slept on his stomach, thinking it helped with his snoring. Over time, he started experiencing early morning chest tightness and brain fog. After a detailed checkup, we discovered his stomach sleeping habit was straining both his neck and his breathing. His blood pressure was high, and oxygen flow to his brain was lower than it should have been during sleep. This position also puts pressure on your chest, making it harder for your lungs to fully expand. Less oxygen in your bloodstream means less oxygen for your brain. If you already have high blood pressure or hardened arteries, this lack of oxygen can be especially dangerous, raising your stroke risk significantly. If you absolutely must sleep on your stomach, try placing a thin pillow under your hips and using no pillow or a very flat one under your head. Better yet, train yourself to sleep on your side or back. It might take time, but your brain and heart will thank you for it. Next, let's uncover a strange habit that might seem harmless, even cozy, but could be turning your bed into a silent trap for your brain overnight. It's a habit that feels wonderful on a cold night, but could be silently putting your brain at risk. Sleeping with your head completely under the blanket. It sounds harmless, even comforting. But when you pull the covers over your head, you're trapping exhaled carbon dioxide and limiting your intake of fresh oxygen. This creates a mini greenhouse of stale air, exactly the environment your brain doesn't want while it's trying to rest and repair. I once spoke with a 70-year-old man who liked to hide under his blanket during winter. He said it helped him fall asleep faster, but every morning he woke up groggy and sluggish. When we measured the oxygen levels in his bedroom and then under his blanket, the reason was clear. The CO2 levels were significantly higher beneath the covers. His brain was working harder to function on less oxygen. Low oxygen, or hypoxia, thickens your blood and increases the chance of forming clots, especially during sleep, when circulation naturally slows. This elevates your risk of nighttime strokes. Plus, high carbon dioxide levels can disturb sleep quality and cause morning headaches or confusion. To stay safe and warm, use a layered blanket system and keep your nose and mouth exposed to fresh air. If your room is cold, consider a heated mattress pad or a breathable wool blanket instead of burying your face. Your brain needs oxygen more than it needs that extra warmth. Now, let's take a closer look at a habit that might seem harmless: falling asleep in your favorite recliner, but could quietly threaten circulation, especially in older adults. It feels relaxing, even luxurious, to doze off in a recliner chair. Maybe you've fallen asleep during a late-night movie or taken your afternoon nap in that favorite seat. But sleeping in a semi-sitting position night after night can quietly increase your risk of dangerous blood clots, especially if you're over 60. Here's why. When your legs remain lower than your heart for hours, gravity pulls blood downward, slowing circulation in your lower limbs. This makes it easier for blood to pool and clot, especially in deep veins, a condition known as deep vein thrombosis, or DVT. If one of those clots travels to your lungs or brain, it can be life-threatening. I remember a patient, 74 years old, who slept in his recliner every night because of back pain. He felt more comfortable upright, but after a few months, he developed swelling in his left leg and shortness of breath. A scan revealed a clot had formed in his calf and moved to his lungs. He had no idea the recliner was the culprit. Even if you feel fine, this position reduces blood flow back to the heart and brain, meaning less oxygen delivery and a higher stroke risk over time. It's especially risky if you sit still for long periods without moving your legs. If you need to nap in a recliner, try to limit it to short periods. Use a footrest to elevate your legs and flex your ankles every 30 minutes. But for overnight sleep, the best place is still your bed, flat, supportive, and designed for recovery. Next, let's talk about a side that seems harmless, but may quietly increase brain toxin buildup while you sleep. Here's something surprising. Not all side sleeping is created equal. While sleeping on your left side has some benefits, consistently sleeping on your right side might do more harm than you think. It turns out your body's internal structure isn't perfectly symmetrical, and the way you sleep can impact how well blood and fluids circulate, especially in your brain. When you lie on your right side for long periods, it can increase pressure on the inferior vena cava, the large vein that returns blood to your heart. That pressure can slightly reduce overall circulation, including the blood flowing up to your brain. But it gets more concerning when you consider what happens inside your head. Studies have shown that right-side sleeping may reduce the efficiency of the brain's lymphatic system, a crucial network that clears out waste and toxins during sleep. One study from Stony Brook University found that rodents who slept on their right side had slower clearance of harmful proteins linked to neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. I had a patient, 68 years old, who always slept on her right side. Over time, she noticed increased brain fog and memory slips. After discussing this with her neurologist, she gradually shifted to sleeping on her left side with a body pillow. Her mental clarity improved in just a few weeks. If you're a dedicated right-side sleeper, try alternating sides or use pillows to encourage a more balanced position. Supporting your top leg and shoulder can help make the left side feel just as comfortable. Now, let's look at another hidden danger, a combination of cold air and poor neck support that could quietly shrink your brain's oxygen supply overnight. Have you ever fallen asleep in a chilly room without thinking twice? Many people prefer sleeping in cooler temperatures, and it's true that a slightly cool environment can promote better rest. But when your neck isn't properly supported and the room is too cold, you might be setting yourself up for a night of poor circulation and a higher stroke risk. Here's the science behind it. Cold temperatures cause your blood vessels to constrict, a natural response to preserve body heat. But when this vasoconstriction happens around your neck and head, it can limit how much oxygen-rich blood reaches your brain. If your neck is also unsupported, those vessels might be slightly kinked or stretched in ways that make things worse. I once had a patient, a 66-year-old woman, who loved sleeping near an open window, even in winter. She'd often wake up with a stiff neck and throbbing headaches. After we adjusted her sleeping setup, adding proper neck support and warming the room slightly, her symptoms reduced significantly. The key here is balance. A room that's too cold, combined with poor posture, can become a silent threat overnight. Your muscles tense up, circulation slows, and your brain doesn't get the oxygen it needs to stay healthy. So, what can you do? Keep your bedroom around 65 degrees Fahrenheit. but use a light scarf or soft neck wrap if you tend to get chilly. Most importantly, use a pillow that supports your cervical spine. You want your neck to feel gently cradled, not strained. Sleep isn't just rest. It's when your brain does its most important work: recovery, repair, and renewal. But here's something many people overlook. The way you sleep can either support that healing process or quietly interfere with it. The position of your head, the angle of your neck, even the side you sleep on, they all matter more than you might think. The best part is, you're in control. With just a few small adjustments, like choosing a better pillow, switching sides, or avoiding poor habits, you can protect your brain while you sleep. So tonight, take a moment before drifting off. Ask yourself, is my neck supported? Am I breathing freely? Is my spine aligned? These small, quiet checks may be your best line of defense against stroke, memory fog, or waking up feeling off. Did you know that one of the biggest silent threats to people over 60 isn't just heart disease or diabetes, but poor blood circulation? And what's even scarier is that this can quietly build up over years without any signs until a stroke suddenly hits. Every year in the US, nearly 800,000 people experience a stroke, and for many, it could have been prevented with just a few small daily habits. Now, I'm not talking about intense workouts or complex routines. What if I told you that just 40 seconds a day, yes, less than a minute, could help boost your circulation, protect your brain, and even lower your risk of stroke? It sounds too simple, right? But it's real. And the best part is these are gentle movements anyone can do, especially those of us past our 60s. This isn't about overwhelming you with medical jargon. We're going to walk through 6 easy positions, each backed by real science, that can make a big difference in how your heart and brain stay healthy. I'll guide you through them, one by one, and you'll see how simple, everyday actions can bring about powerful changes. These aren't magic tricks. They're smart, practical choices, tailored for your body's needs as it ages. So are you ready to find out what they are? If you're someone who wants to stay sharp, independent, and vibrant, hit that subscribe button to follow Health 365. And if you're curious, type 1 in the comments. Or 0 if you think it's all just hype. Let's jump into the first technique together. It might surprise you how much it can do. Imagine you're getting ready for a nap or heading to bed for the night. Instead of lying flat on your back, try this. Roll gently onto your left side. That's it. This small shift in position can make a big difference, especially if you're over 60. You see, when you lie on your left side, your heart doesn't have to work as hard. There's a large vein called the inferior vena cava. It's like a highway that carries blood from your lower body back up to your heart, and it runs along the right side of your spine. When you lie on your left, you take pressure off that vein, allowing your blood to flow more smoothly. Your heart gets a little break, and your circulation improves, particularly toward your brain. Now, you might be wondering, does this really matter? Well, here's where it gets interesting. A study in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that people who sleep on their left side showed better blood flow to the brain and experienced fewer episodes of interrupted breathing at night, a condition known as sleep apnea. For older adults, that's a big deal. Poor oxygen flow during sleep doesn't just make you tired the next day. It's a known risk factor for stroke and heart issues. And think about it. This isn't hard to do. You don't need special equipment or fancy routines, just your bed and a comfortable pillow. Next time you settle down, try turning to your left. If you often wake up with a racing heart or morning dizziness, This simple shift might help you sleep more peacefully. Plus, side sleeping on the left can even reduce snoring, which helps both you and your partner. In fact, researchers at the Cleveland Clinic note that left side sleeping also promotes better lymphatic drainage and can aid digestion overnight. It's like a chain reaction. Your heart pumps easier, your brain gets more oxygen, and your body functions better overall. So tonight, before you turn off the light, remember this tiny change. It's gentle, it's easy, and it could quietly become one of the best habits in your evening routine. Now, let's look at something you can do while you're just sitting down. Whether you're reading, watching your favorite show, or enjoying a meal, your sitting posture plays a bigger role in your health than you might think. The way you sit can either help your circulation or quietly hurt it. The trick is to sit up straight with your feet flat on the floor, forming a right angle at your knees. That's it. Keep your back gently straight, not stiff, and make sure your feet aren't tucked under you or dangling. When you sit this way, you're helping your blood flow evenly throughout your body, especially down to your legs and up to your brain. This position reduces pressure on your arteries and veins, keeping circulation smooth and steady. Think of your blood vessels like a garden hose. If you kink the hose, water struggles to get through. Slouching or crossing your legs does the same thing to your circulation. It slows the flow, especially to your lower limbs. Over time, that can cause numbness, swelling, or even raise your risk of developing blood clots, also known as deep vein thrombosis. In fact, a study from the American Heart Association highlights that prolonged poor sitting posture can significantly impact vascular health, especially in older adults. People who sat with good posture showed more stable blood pressure and less pooling of blood in their legs compared to those who slouched. For us over 60, that matters even more, since our veins already work harder to return blood to the heart. Here's a simple habit to build. Every time you sit down, at the table, in your favorite chair, or even at a restaurant, check your posture. Are your shoulders relaxed? Is your back supported? Are your feet flat and your knees at a 90-degree angle? Adjust gently. Even small corrections add up. And if you find yourself sitting for long periods, don't forget to shift slightly every 30 minutes or so. These little check-ins keep your blood moving and your body healthy. The true beauty of this approach is that it doesn't ask you to add something new to your day. Instead, it refines what you already do, making it profoundly better for your body. To begin, let's take a moment to stand up, quite literally, and explore a gentle wall posture that benefits your neck, your shoulders, and most importantly, the blood flow to your brain. This is a simple stretch you can do anytime, anywhere, and it takes less than a minute. First, find a wall. Stand with your back against it, your heels about an inch away. Now, gently press your lower neck, your shoulders, and the back of your head to touch the wall. Lift your chin slightly, as if you are elongating your neck toward the ceiling. Can you feel that? That subtle shift is your neck and spine coming into alignment, and it's doing far more than just improving your posture. It is helping blood get precisely where it needs to go. You see, as we age, tension often accumulates around the neck and upper shoulders. This tightness can compress the carotid arteries, the major blood vessels that deliver oxygen-rich blood to your brain. Even mild chronic tension in this area can reduce blood flow, leading to lightheadedness, fatigue, or what many of us call brain fog. In fact, a clinical review in Frontiers in Neurology confirmed that cervical muscle tension can significantly impact cerebral blood flow, especially in older adults. That's right. Those tight neck muscles aren't just uncomfortable. They can make you feel foggy or dizzy, simply because your brain isn't getting the circulation it needs. This simple wall technique helps in two powerful ways. First, it gently stretches those neck and shoulder muscles, releasing built-up tension. Second, it brings a new awareness to your alignment, training your body to maintain better posture naturally, even when you're away from the wall. You don't need to force the position or hold it for long. About 40 seconds is plenty. Just breathe deeply as you stand there, feeling the back of your head press gently into the wall. Let your shoulders relax downward. And if your neck still feels tight, you can follow up with a gentle side-to-side tilt. Some people practice this right before bed to release the day's tension, or after long hours at a computer. Think of it as a small, free reset for your nervous system. Try it the next time you're waiting for the microwave or while brushing your teeth. It's not about adding more to your schedule. It's about layering better habits into the moments you already have. And when it comes to protecting your brain's circulation, this is one habit to keep. Now, let's shift back to a seated position, but this time with a clever leg trick that helps keep your veins happy. Settle back into a chair, but with one small adjustment that can offer a big payoff. Picture yourself sitting at your desk, relaxing on the couch, or enjoying a good book. Now take a low footstool, a small box, or even a thick cushion, and gently rest your feet on it. Your legs should be slightly elevated, just a few inches above the floor. That's it. In that simple act, you've given your circulation a helpful boost. Why does this matter? As we age, the veins in our legs have to work harder to push blood back up to the heart, fighting against gravity. When you elevate your legs, even slightly, you reduce the pressure on those veins and help blood flow return more easily. It's a simple gesture that supports your vascular health in a powerful way. Medical studies, including one published in the Journal of Vascular Surgery, show that leg elevation can significantly reduce venous pressure and prevent fluid buildup in the lower extremities, what we often feel as swelling or heaviness. For those over 60, this swelling isn't just a discomfort. It's a warning sign that blood may be pooling instead of flowing, which over time can increase the risk of deep vein thrombosis. Think of your veins as a railway system. If the blood, the passengers, gets stuck at the station for too long, pressure builds. Elevating your legs helps clear the tracks, allowing the blood to move freely again. This is especially beneficial if you spend long hours sitting. For an added bonus, pair this with a few ankle rolls or gentle toe taps to stimulate your calf muscles, which act like a second heart for your legs, helping to push blood upward. It's a small combination that pays off immensely over time. Next, let's lie back, relax, and take a deep breath. I'm going to show you a calming technique that not only improves circulation but also helps you sleep better. Let's lie down and do something as natural as breathing. Because it is breathing, but a very specific kind. We're going to focus on abdominal breathing, often called belly breathing. It's a gentle, restorative technique that can calm your nervous system, improve blood oxygen levels, and even help lower your blood pressure. Here's how you do it. Lie flat on your back, somewhere quiet. You can bend your knees slightly if that's more comfortable. Rest one hand on your chest and the other on your belly. Now, take a deep, slow breath in through your nose. As you inhale, feel your belly rise. The hand on your stomach should lift, while the hand on your chest remains relatively still. Then exhale gently through your mouth, feeling your belly fall. This may feel unusual at first, especially if you're accustomed to shallow chest breathing. But this simple shift brings in more oxygen, slows your heart rate, and allows your blood vessels to relax and open up. That means better circulation, especially to your brain and heart. A study from Harvard Medical School found that just a few minutes of deep abdominal breathing can lower systolic blood pressure by up to 10 points in some older adults, a significant impact, considering high blood pressure is a leading predictor of stroke. The best part? This technique has no side effects, costs nothing, and can be done anywhere you can lie down. People who practice this kind of breathing before bed often report sleeping more soundly, because it helps shift the body out of fight or flight mode and into a state of rest and digest. Your muscles relax, your mind settles, and your blood flows more freely. Even 40 seconds of deep, mindful breathing can begin to reset your nervous system. So the next time you lie down, try it. It's like a gentle, internal massage for your heart and brain, delivered on the rhythm of your breath. And now, for our final technique, we'll stay lying down, but this time with our feet in the air. Let's finish with a pose that's both incredibly relaxing and deeply effective. Legs up the wall. It's exactly what it sounds like. Lie on your back, scoot your hips close to a wall, and gently raise your legs so they rest upright against its surface. Your arms can rest by your sides or over your belly, whatever feels most natural. Now, for about 40 seconds, simply breathe. What's happening in your body might surprise you. By elevating your legs above your heart, you are reversing the pull of gravity. Instead of fighting to push blood up from your feet, your veins get a helping hand. Blood flows back to your heart and brain more easily, reducing pressure in your lower limbs and preventing blood from pooling, which can lead to swelling and fatigue. A study in the Journal of Physiological Sciences found that this posture improved venous return and reduced markers of stress in adults over 60. Participants reported feeling calmer, more energized, and even sleeping better after making it a regular habit. It's a natural way to refresh your entire circulatory system while you rest. The stillness of the pose also creates a moment of peace, a mini mental reset that's good for your heart in every sense of the word. Make it part of your bedtime routine, or try it midday if you're feeling sluggish. It's a gentle, powerful habit that asks almost nothing of you, but gives so much in return. So, there we are. 6 simple postures, each taking less than a minute. Together, they create a quiet, powerful routine that supports your heart, your brain, and your peace of mind. None of these moves require special equipment or perfect health. They meet you exactly where you are. And perhaps that's the most hopeful part. Protecting your health doesn't require a dramatic overhaul. It simply takes showing up for yourself in small, steady ways. One breath, one stretch, one gentle shift at a time. You deserve to feel strong, clear-headed, and calm as you move through each day. So tonight, or maybe even right now, choose one of these habits and see how it feels. If it brings you a little relief, a little calm, keep coming back to it. Your health is worth every second. If this has helped you or reminded you to care for yourself a bit more gently today, let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear if you plan to try one of these tips tonight. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to stay with us here at Health 365. We have more to share, always with care and always with you in mind.